Professor Shamnath Bashir. It started out as a very informal student-run movement out of the NUJS, West Bengal campus. And since then, it has grown into a huge movement. It is a registered charitable trust now. We have three trustees, Justice Ruma Pal, she's a former Supreme Court judge, Professor Dr. M.P. Singh, who is a leading legal scholar and former Vice Chancellor of NUJS, and Mr. Shashi Rundrappa, who is the Director of Fire Capital. And the idea behind IDIA was that law schools, the top law schools of India, are very one-dimensional and they're very homogeneous. There are one group of people who mostly enter these universities, and there's not much diversity. And it is very important to have diversity in law schools, especially for something as important as law, which affects so many people. It affects every single person in this country. It is important that every person who is a part of the country has a say in the laws of the country and understands them. So Professor Shamnath Bashir started it as a student-run movement. The idea was that students, being the future of the country, they're the most hopeful of all groups of people. And to have students run this project and run this movement meant that imbibing some hope that students have within the community and helping using that hope and the future that they embody to get mobilize the marginal communities, the smaller groups of people, and get them involved and get more people involved, even those who are not hopeful. So since 2010, it's been over a decade since IDI has been functioning. We are spread out across 20 different states. We have chapters in almost all the states. Almost all the national law universities are involved. Some other universities like Government Law College, Mumbai, Nirma University in Ahmedabad are also very deeply involved. And we have over 600 student volunteers across India who work for IDIA right now. And these are all students in the various law schools who help out. And the purpose behind IDIA is to conduct sensitizations, reach out to smaller communities, marginalized communities, and sensitize them to their rights, to what law can offer them, to what IDIA can offer them. And these students from these 600 plus student volunteers, they travel from all the leading universities across India to these remote areas. So they've traveled from Baramulla in Jammu and Kashmir to Sundarbans in West Bengal, and they identify these underprivileged students who have an aptitude for law, and then they empower them, they help them sit for these exams, the various entrance exams for law schools, and we train them, we help them with their English, we help them with the various subjects that are important for the entrance exams. We help them arrange for scholarships and funds to secure admission into these law schools. And the purpose is to create champs or creative, holistic, altruistic, and maverick problem solvers. So these students that we empower and we train, they can go ahead and carry forward the purpose of IDI and they can carry forward the work that we do. Since 2010, we have sensitized over 38,000 students to law as a possible career option. We have rigorously trained over 400, like around 450 students to appear for entrance exams. We currently have 79 scholars in the top Indian law schools, of which 11 are scholars with disabilities. And the whole purpose is to ensure that there is more diversity because these are the people who can best speak about their own issues that their communities are facing and to ensure that the legal community is more diverse so that every single person's voice is heard and every single person's problem is addressed. So Ayushi will be speaking more about the need for diversity in law schools.
Hi, thank you, Sakshi. So as Sakshi said that one of the main reasons that diversity is important in law schools is that you should have like a community representation. It is important that law school has all people from all kinds of diverse backgrounds, like from diverse ethnicities, from diverse castes, from diverse sexualities, so that there is someone who has similar life experiences represent you in various fields of law. Law is very, very integral to the society and to the growth of society. And if there are sections of society that are missing from representation in that consort of voices, then justice can never fully be done. One of the very good examples to portray this comes from the field of intellectual properties. So there are a lot of communities that have indigenous products or indigenous handicrafts, which they have been passing on through the generations through traditional knowledge, and it's been a trend that the corporatization and the capitalism usually tends to steal these ideas to capitalize on them and make a bigger market for it. But IDEA provides with trade secret and traditional knowledge protection so that you can actually protect your traditional knowledge that has been passed on to you by generations. So if there is diverse representation in law schools by these communities, it can be of great help to these communities in protecting their intellectual property. Moreover, we can see that in various courts of law, there is not much diversity in the kind of judges that we have and the kind of advocates that represent the clients. So when it comes to the linguistic communities that are backward and their experiences, say coming from a tribal area, what problems they face, no lawyer that is not from their community can ever fully understand and explain to a judge what problems they face unless they belong from the community. And no judge also can fully understand the extent of the problem unless all again belonging from the same community. So this is one of the main reasons why representation and diversity in law schools becomes so important because law needs to policy making and policies affect every single individual and every single group. And if there are sections missing from this policy making process, a lot of people would not be represented and their interests will never be fully represented. So that is why diversity is very, very important in law school. And what IDEA is trying to do is make the law schools and in turn, through making the law schools, make the legal profession more diverse. So now we will be streaming a video where our IDEA scholars talk about what IDEA does.
Ayushi, you'll be presenting it, or would Sakshi be presenting the video, sharing it?
Ma'am, I'm presenting it.
Right.
Is the audio coming?
Yes, it's visible.
Got to the sound of a fleeting heart.
My name is Kapska. I'm originally from Tamil Nadu, but my family stays in Bangalore solely for the purpose of
When you go to leave to work hard on my chest.
IDEA is a student run movement which empowers underprivileged students to get into top national law schools in the country today and supports them in their journey thereafter.
Out to the haze in the morning.
IDA volunteers from NLSK school and they made us aware about law, what law is as a profession and what IDIA is doing to promote law, especially to learn, basically backward in society.
And my life is yours, but your love.
Training and teaching aspect is the core of IDIA. Train and teach these students who are very motivated, who are very bright, who are talented. The only thing they lack is a financial access.
I'm all hiding what we've lost, but the love what we find. Now I'm feeling fine. Made it to the coastline.
I'm a student from Hindi medium, so if a student come in IDIA who is having an Hindi medium background, then I understand that what he feels when he attend first time a class in English.
Live like you never wasn't meant for.
I think the success of IDIA comes from the fact that our scholars right now are doing pretty well in whichever institutions that they are in.
We're not just bringing in students into the law schools, into the premier law schools, getting them educated in a 5-year formalistic program and then saying, we've done our job. In fact, that's just the beginning. The larger picture is really that we continuously mentor, enroll, guide, and support them to effectively take their place as community leaders.
When you go yourself for sensitization or training these students, then you start generating interest and you understand the true value of what IDI proposes to do.
And we'll hate what we lost, but we'll love what we find. Got all the feeling, made it to the coastline.
After you meet these kind of people, like people with so much motivation, you realize that like what we are doing is insignificant.
There are individual people who willingly and voluntarily sponsor these children. I think that's a very noble thing to do because, in effect, when you just donate money, that's something. But when you donate money towards education, you're making sure that your investment is going to give a lot of benefits in the future.
So, was the video playing?
Yes, Sakshi, the video was visible, but I think there's some problem with the network because it was breaking at times, the connectivity.
Okay. So, now, so the video accurately showed what the work that IDI does, and there were volunteers and there were scholars directly in the video speaking about their experiences. Now we will have Drishti and Sanchita, who are members of our sensitization team, talking about the sensitization process and how we go forward with training and creating IDI jams.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, Sanchita, you are.
Okay, hi. So I'll just firstly I talk about what exactly law is like what exactly law is and what's the procedure to get into law schools in India. And then Drishti will talk about more about IDI's role and the IDI aspect of it. So firstly, I'll talk about like what is law. Law is nothing but like a special set of rules and regulations which governs not only like the citizens of India but different kinds of bodies and how they interact with each other. So this this law is extremely important in our country because it pertains to all people in the society as well as like people belonging to all stratas of the society, and mostly like people belonging to a certain privileged background won't be such great stakeholders in it. They won't be concerned with it, but however uh, the people who don't belong to those stratas are larger stakeholders in this whole process. So like that's why it becomes extremely important why choosing law as a profession is important for people nowadays. And people can't just simply choose to ignore law. Like we cannot keep that as an excuse. And law school therefore comes into play where people interact with each other. Um, they just understand more about law, and therefore I would like to go into like how people enter into law schools. So there are two kinds of programs in law schools. There's a 5-year integrated course and a 3-year course. So a 5-year integrated course is basically an undergraduate degree as well as a LLB degree. Earlier, law just used to be an LLB degree, which was a post graduation, which used to happen after a graduate degree. But now, after NLUs had been created, instead of a 6-year course that used to happen earlier to do law, now people just have to do a 5-year course, and these. Hello.
Sanchita, there's some problem with the audio visual. Sanchita?
Am I audible in?
You're audible, but your visual is not, the video is not playing. Yes, Sanchita, please go ahead. Your voice is audible.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'll just talk about like the 5-year integrated courses that we prepare people from. Those are BLLB courses, BSB courses, BBLLB courses, and these courses are offered by multiple institutions like the NLUs, the National Law Universities, BHU, Symbiosis Law School, Nirma University, a lot of such universities. So there's a common law admission test, usually known as CLAT, through which all NLUs in the country, people have to give their exam for all NLUs in the country except NLU Delhi. For NLU Delhi, there's a special exam called as All India Law Entrance Test, also known as ALET, which is for NLU Delhi admission. Just to be like how IITs are considered in the field of engineering, NLUs are considered to be those for the field of law, and there are different like for Government Law College and Indian Law School, Pune, we have the MLT. There are different kinds of exams that people prepare for to enter law schools. And now I'd like to give Drishti the floor for.
Hi everyone. It is really good to do a sensitization even like through virtually because we want to definitely interact. As IDIA, that is always our main aim, to sensitize as many students as we can for law as a career. So, like Sanchita mentioned, that law is very important and this cannot be an excuse that you did not know your rights or you did not know this is the law. That is never going to hold up in court. So it's very, very important to know your rights. And another very good thing about law is that after doing this 5-year degree, there are so many career options that open up. It's long are those days where after law you go in court and you sit and you're making affidavits and all of those things, or how in movies it shows date per date or tariq per tariq. Those things are long gone. Right now, after law, there are so many career options. Like, of course, litigation is one. Then you can become a judge. You can also go into corporate fields. There are top tier law firms now, and all the mergers and acquisitions, all the contracts, that everything is happening, those law firms are actually handling those. And they have great pay, they have good job security. It's like the entire corporate world in law. You also, in those also, there is dispute resolution team, so you do get to experience both the firm as well as court in that aspect. So that is also there. Apart from that, all companies have to follow certain laws, so they will always have their own in-house counsels also. So that is again a great option. Like even banks, like ICICI Bank and every single company needs to have a legal team as well for all their contracts or anything. So that's another option. Then if you want to be a teacher, you can definitely become a professor after law. And when you know this kind of subject so well, you're able to teach other people. And so that again, it's such a rewarding profession because you're actually, teaching young minds about law, and those will be your future lawyers, future leaders in every sense. Like there are so many politicians that also have a legal background, which again becomes important because so many times in our legislature, we do want people who do have a certain legal background because law is whatever the legislature says it is, right? But we need to know what it is. So when we have to interpret the law that legislature gives, comes in judiciary. So all your judges. So that's why diversity in the judiciary is very important. Like Sakshi and Ayushi also mentioned, that you want judges that understand tribal rights. You want judges that understand, that are from different stratas of society, so that they understand where you're coming from. Right now, we do have judges from a similar background, and they do their best to understand all the problems and everything. But it would just help ensuring diversity at our Supreme Court level, where everything right now is reaches the Supreme Court. Your current farmer laws protests have reached, your creation, your Central Vista construction of your entire parliament has also reached Supreme Court. So there is nothing that is out of the purview of law. So everything is connected to law, and this one degree or 5-year degree, it is a long commitment. I agree. 5 years is not a small commitment. But the fact is that even in other courses now, if you do a 3-year degree, you end up going somewhere for masters to get the job. And when you end up doing a 5-year law degree, that is great. That in itself is going to get you into doors of litigation, corporate world, NGOs, think tank, policies. You can appear for UPSC. So your IS exams, you can sit for those, and the subjects that you have, because you studied them in law, you're able to know about it. So you're able to write, and because of law, you get into the habit of reading long papers, writing long answers, and it's always interesting. So there will always be a few subjects with these actual case laws, and depending, since there's so many subjects, you will definitely find one subject that is of interest to you. And like for me, it was family law or torts, or or criminal law also, the kind of cases in that. And within law, exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Within law also, it is so broad. Within that, we have family law, we have commercial law, we have criminal law, we have tax law. So it's like an endless possibilities. You can be doing anything and everything, and each and every aspect of our life gets connected to law in some way or the other. So once you get into this kind of a profession, it is glamorous. It is something that you it when you know about your rights, and if in a conversation you can mention Constitution of India, and you know what your articles, what your fundamental rights are, that is so important. Of course, we mention those in civics and when you study in school, but when you actually get to know about these big cases and everything, any newspaper you pick up now, there is some decision that the Supreme Court has given on something or the other. So, law is not going out of fashion, or it is not a profession that is going to end or get replaced by artificial intelligence or something like that, because you do need that human touch in interpreting these laws, in making these laws, in thinking over these laws. Your policy making, your think tanks help ensure that the laws that come into play are the best ones. So any amendments or anything, and it is the people that have this power. So when you have diversity and different stakeholders in in your think tanks, in your policies, in your NGOs, everywhere, then only you're able to ensure law for a variety of people that will suit a variety of people. And IDIA, this is what we want to do. We want to make sure that our students understand the need to get into law schools. Don't be scared at all about law school because of the amount of career opportunities you have after law school. Within law school also, there is so much to do. So, it is 5 years of your life, yes, but those 5 years will take you so much further. And again, like I would keep repeating, law is one profession that is not going anywhere. You will always need lawyers for every single transaction or every single thing that you do. So it is a great profession to be in. And we are, Sanchita and I are in our fourth year right now. So, we've been through most of the law school. And Ayushi and Sakshi are in their fifth years. And we have another alumni of ours. So, we do know what it is like of having that 5-year commitment, but it is worth it. That is for sure. And the way IDIA helps you in through this is that we are always there to support you from your prep to get into law school, as well as during law school and even after that. So firstly we try and do this kind of a sensitization. After that we have this IDIA aptitude test. So it's like an entrance test to become an IDIA trainee, and it is again based on the same subjects as CLAT. And so that to just understand the aptitude of all of any of the students and their interest in law. And after that, once you get selected as an IDI trainee, then we start your training. So we have an entire dedicated training team for you, and we provide you materials, and we provide you mock tests and guidance and everything. So we also have a mentor that is assigned to you, so that they are like your friend. So whatever you're feeling, you can always share with them. So in that sense, we, like IDEA ensures to take care of you and support you financially, emotionally, and of course in your coaching and everything. So after you give the tests, and we also filled up the forms for you. Once you become an IDI trainee, we also fill up the forms. And if you are able to get into a good NLU, we also provide scholarships through, in like some of the NLUs, we also have certain fee waivers, not all, but in a few. And we try and get scholarships, we get sponsors and everything. This is the part of your fundraising team. This is the fundraising teams helps ensure that there are sufficient funds always. And after that, we also have scholar development. We also have a team for scholar development, which ensures that even once you're in law school, if you are facing any issues in any subject, or, like English, or you're not understanding a certain law subject, we are there to help you with that. So and since in IDEA Delhi chapter, we are the people teaching you, we're the people sensitizing you. So we're so well connected to law and the entrance test and actual subjects in law school that we can completely relate to the situation when we always help. And IDEA will also help you getting internships later. And like any other some other internship experience, or materials, or just constant support. IDEA does not let you go. It's like a big family. Once you're a part of it, you're always a part of it. And like our alumni also keep coming back for our sensitization, so we're always connected. And it's a great initiative to be a part of. When once I got into law school, I knew that IDEA is something that I wanted to join, because I wanted to help other people realize the importance of law and the need to come into law schools and change this entire aspect. Like even once I was getting into law school, I was told that it's a very men dominated profession. Like, are you sure you want to get into it? But I did want to get into it. And right now, if you notice, we have so many women in this meeting. Like all our panelists almost are women. So, it is changing. It is changing. And only when different people join from different backgrounds, then it can become the truly diverse law that we need. And through this, definitely, like, and the best person to tell you about IDIA and the experience and their law school experience is Nazrul, who was an IDIA trainee, then became a scholar, and is now part of the sensitization team also. So he's definitely doing his bit, and he's connected to IDIA. So I will let Nazrul talk now.
Uh, Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my experience of journey to
law school with IDIA and my experience in the law school as well. So I think uh, I should give my introduction first. I am Nazrul from West Bengal, uh, and I'm currently studying at National University, Delhi, and I'm third year of BLLB honors. So when I was in class 12, I actually did not know what to do after class 12 or what subjects I should select for my further study. Uh, and I just I just spent my 2 years, 11 and 12th, exploring the fields where I can go and I want to go. But after my class 12th, I get into touch with IDIA Delhi chapter and the team sensitized me about as a career option and the process of IDIA to select trainee and their and all. And then uh, uh, I was selected uh, for CLAT and IELTS entrance test, and IDIA started uh, train to train me uh, throughout the year, and uh, uh, and after that, uh, when I started to take classes to prepare for entrance, I I had to prepare for 5 subjects: English, legal reasoning, logical reasoning, maths, and GK. And it was a fun experience for me throughout the preparation period because logical reasoning and legal reasoning were two new subjects for me, and these are very interesting subjects along with maths and GK. Uh, then uh, after uh, after uh, after appearing in CLAT, IELTS, and a few more entrance exams, I just did not have uh, any surety that I'll get into any law school because I did not have any such confidence because I did not English medium because I have completed my school education in Hindi medium. So I did not have such a confidence to get into school. But it's a myth because English is not only the requirement. The your to think, your ability to solve problems and understand what's the issue in the question to solve the paper. Uh, and I fortunately uh, got admission in National Law University Delhi, and this was really remarkable moment for me, and I just could not believe at that time that I was selected in such a privileged university. So I came in after I came in the campus. I just faced some challenges like English. Obviously, was one of the uh, major challenge for me because it was a new language for me to study with, and uh, and there are various research works in academic, so I did not have any knowledge to use computer and technologies. So I I told to IDIA that I need assistance. I need assistance to teach me English and computer. So arrange a personal tutor for me for English and computer, and then I learned to use technologies, and now uh, I'm able to do my all projects, and I'm able to write my projects on my own with the help of technologies, and it's all possible possible by the help of IDIA only. So after I get into law school, I can say that there are several opportunities, like a student may be interested in debates, or he may be interested in sports or cultural activities. So there are several opportunities for a student to involve with, and and there are several opportunities, what several new opportunities we can learn with, and I'm really enjoying my uh, law school period, uh, because uh, because I'm still an idea scholar, and I later on joined sensitization, because I believe that what I got from IDIA, I also should uh, uh, give, give back to the society, and sensitize a lot of students towards law as a career option, and contribute uh, in making aware the students. So I joined IDIA sensitization team, and I'm working with the team, and so I am here today. Sensitization team, but I'm sharing my experience here uh, from the perspective of a scholar. So I think that's all for now, because everything cannot be shared in such a short period. So I hope to get a physical interactive session in the future, so we can talk more about it, and I hope to uh, interact with students in future. Thank you. So, who is the next speaker, Drishti?
Shrishti, I think Shweta
Yes.
Venkatesan would now be sharing her experiences.
Yes, I in law school and after law school.
Right. She's an alumnus now. She's working.
Yes.
Hi. Hi, am I visible and audible?
Yes, Shweta, you are.
Hi. So, a brief intro to myself. My name is Shweta, and I just graduated from NLUD in 2020. During law school, I was associated with IDIA for all my 5 years. For the first 3 years, I was a teacher of English. I taught a lot of our trainees and subsequent scholars. And the last 2 years, I was a team leader as well. So, everyone's spoken so much about the avenues in law and about how law school can be such a good experience. I think also, when you come into law school, it's not just the learning of law that makes it so interesting. Actually, for me, and I think for so many others also, you're in this very nice environment where all current issues are being discussed. Everyone is giving their point of view. It's a very open campus. You get to learn from people, from seniors, from juniors also. People exchange ideas. You grow, you read about things you did not learn about in school. So many of us, for example, it's only once you come to law school we understand, what is justice, what is oppression, what is the way society needs to be better. And so much of that understanding you cultivate in the 5 years you are at law school. And especially, I think when you are in IDIA in law school, you also start to experience it when you interact with all your trainees and scholars, because you realize what life has been like for them. You realize that you can be an important part in their journey in helping them become the best version of themselves and pursue what they want. So it can be really great that way. In terms of my experience with IDIA, I feel in a way, I feel like it's so much more learning for me. Even though I was a teacher, technically, I feel like I was learning more from our trainees most of the time. It's a very humbling and sweet experience, and something I would recommend any student in an IDIA chapter to do. Volunteer however you think you can, to teaching, to giving materials, to fundraising, because it can be so important for you as a person to learn and grow. I now that I've graduated, and my batch has graduated, a lot of us involved in IDIA have taken up the career paths that Drishti was talking about. So, for example, I am on the policy side of things now. I work with a firm that looks at laws in emerging technology. So we look at, say, laws for social media platforms, laws for video on demand platforms. I have my co-team leader from this time, Ashri. He is now practicing tax law before various courts. We also have other members in our IDIA team who went on to do corporate law, and now they're working with big law firms. So the kind of perspective you get post law school is also very interesting. I feel like once you graduate, you start to appreciate law school a lot more for what it did for you. And especially, I think looking back, IDIA is something that made law school a very important part of, it defined law school in a way for me, because it's so hard to divorce what your entire perspective, everything you've learned gets so shaped by what you've seen in IDIA. So it's like having a foot in reality each time. But yeah, that's sort of what I have to share about my experience. I would definitely, I wish the team a lot of luck. It's so nice to see all of you after a long time. But I'm so glad you guys are doing this sensitization. I'm so glad this is happening virtually and that we're able to continue. And I hope that we're able to get more and more trainees, have more and more scholars, and do an even better job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for sharing your experiences. Like, I'm sure the students जो आज हमारा program देख रहे थे, they would be inspired by your stories, your preparation, and the kind of effort you guys put in while training the IDEA scholars. हमारा like at DLSA, our aim is to promote legal literacy and promote legal awareness. And आपके साथ associate करने का हमारा मकसद यही था कि most of the students जो अभी 11th 12th में हैं और जिनको अभी वो डिसीजन लेना है कि as to which career option they want to take up, mostly सबको मेडिसिन और इंजीनियरिंग के अलावे बहुत सारे एवेन्यूज के बारे में पता नहीं होता. So our aim was to bring law as one of the most viable career options after you pass out from school, right? Because like I come from a small state जहाँ पे like अगर कोई बच्चा अच्छा है तो उसको इंजीनियरिंग या मेडिकल एंट्रेंस के लिए तो बैठना बिल्कुल कंपल्सरी है, अदरवाइज he or she is like doomed to be a failure types. तो वो mentality change करना, I personally like मुझे 12th के बाद I wanted to do law. I cleared the national law entrance for जोधपुर, but मेरे parents को था कि girls के लिए ये अच्छा profession नहीं होता, so you should take up something else, go in for normal graduation and फिर civils के लिए appear करो. But then I had to put my foot down कि नहीं मुझे law करना है, and I'm so thankful कि I was stubborn and rigid. I showed my intent कि मेरे को law school ही जाना है. So उस तरीके से बहुत सारे बच्चे होंगे, girls को especially मैं बोलूँगी कि कोई अगर आपको ये बोले कि law as a career option girls के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, please do not believe them, because I think this is one of the most like जो बेस्ट प्रोफेशनल ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं आपके लिए वो हैं. हमारे बैच में लाइक जैसा कि लाइक अभी श्वेता मैम ने कहा, पहले साक्षी मैम ने कहा, इतने सारे एवेन्यूज होते हैं. लॉ की ब्यूटी ये है कि आप बस एक बस लिटिगेशन या जज मान के मत चलिए कि यही 2 करियर ऑप्शंस हैं। आप एनजीओज में वर्क कर सकते हैं, आप एक इफेक्टिव ब्यूरोक्रेट बन सकते हैं। पॉलिटिशियंस, अगर बहुत सारे हमारे इफेक्टिव जो सबसे फेमस ब्यूरोक्रेट्स देखे जाएं या पॉलिटिशियंस, सबका अगर आप हिस्ट्री एजुकेशनल वो देखेंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं सबने लॉ किया हुआ है, एलएलएम किया हुआ है। लाइक आई एम श्योर लाइक आईएएस की जो लोग एस्पायर कर रहे हैं, दे मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट गीतांजलि ब्रैंडन फ्रॉम नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी, जिन्होंने आईएएस में 6th रैंक लाए एंड शी इज वर्किंग एज अ इन द इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विस। और भी ऐसे बहुत सारे प्रतिभाशाली स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिन्होंने लॉ करके ब्यूरोक्रेसी में कंट्रीब्यूट किया है। हमारे बहुत सारे जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स रहे हैं, जो सबसे वेल नोन प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स ऑफ द कंट्री, उनका भी लीगल बैकग्राउंड रहा है। हमारे कितने सारे फ्रीडम फाइटर्स थे जो लीगल बैकग्राउंड से थे। और यहाँ पे मैं एक और चीज बोलना चाहूंगी कि अगर आपका हिंदी मीडियम में एजुकेशन है तो डू नॉट कंसिडर दिस एज अ हैंडीकैप, बिकॉज आपके मदर टंग में आपका एजुकेशन है, दैट इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग, बिकॉज आप अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस लाएंगे लॉ स्कूल में। लॉ में बहुत सारी जो कमियां हैं, जो बहुत एक्सक्लूसिव और इलिटिस्ट अप्रोच टू लॉ है, उसको आप चेंज करने में बहुत कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो ये मत, इंग्लिश ऑब्वियसली एक एडवांटेज होता है इनिशियल जो एग्जाम्स क्लियर करने में। हाँ, हो सकता है आपको थोड़ा एफर्ट पुट इन करना पड़े, बट आपकी जो ऑलरेडी पढ़ाई हो चुकी है उसका भी अपना महत्व है, तो उससे डिस्करेज कभी मत होइए कि हम लोग इंग्लिश मीडियम में नहीं है। You have your own set of experiences which would like keep you in good stead later on in life also. So मैं उस बारे में एंड लाइक आई एम श्योर अभी 4-5 महीने हैं, बहुत सारे आप लोग ऐसे होंगे जो 12th में होंगे। So अभी तो बोर्ड्स तक maybe you're not able to focus, but even after that, before the law entrance exam, you do get time. आप यहाँ पे आइडिया से एसोसिएट हो, यू कैन कॉन्टैक्ट द रिसोर्स पर्सन्स देयर एंड वो आपको बताएंगे कि कैसे कम टाइम में भी आप इस एग्जाम की पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं एंड यू कैन क्रैक इट। लाइक आई एम ऑलवेज सो इंस्पायर्ड बाय नजरुल स्टोरी, लाइक आई हैव बीन टेलिंग एवर सिंस आई saw him in the first session, like I've been sharing this his experiences with many of my colleagues here in judiciary. So I'm sure like आप लोग भी बहुत अच्छा कर सकते हैं, कम टाइम में भी कर सकते हैं। So like please do get in touch with the IDEA team. I'm sure they'll be able to help you out again. And thank you once again, IDEA team. Like Shwetlana ma'am is not here today, but then I like the entire team was so enthusiastically sharing their experiences. I'm sure students को अच्छा लगा होगा, and with the reopening of schools, we look forward to having a like live interaction. In-person interaction would be more effective. So with this we conclude. दृष्टि, आपको कुछ कहना है?
Yes, you can always reach us at info@idialaw.com .org, sorry. And we please, any questions you have, anything you have, you can always drop us an email. You can see and contact us, and we love getting in touch with potential students who are interested in law, even if it is to just answer some of your doubts or anything like that. So we're all law students, or we've done law, we've gone through the entrances, so we're always able to contribute. And yes, I am also looking forward to a physical interaction with you people, so that we can see your faces, ask your questions, doubts at that moment itself. So that would be great. And best of luck for your 11th and 12th, obviously. And hopefully many of you will join law and actually consider it as a proper viable career option now.
Thank you so much, Drishti. Thank you, Sakshi, for joining us today, and the other team members. With this,
so much for organizing this, Harshita ma'am. It was a really good experience.
Right.
अभी लॉकडाउन में the biggest handicap has been कि हम जाके sensitization नहीं conduct कर पाते हैं, and sensitizations are a huge part of IDIA. जब मतलब श्यामनाथ सर भी हमेशा यही बोलते थे कि sensitizations are the core of what IDIA does. हम जितना भी help कर ले, but our primary goal is कि जितने लोग sensitize हो, even if we can't help them, अगर उन्हें पता हो law के क्या benefits है, उन्हें अगर sensitize कर पाए, that is our biggest achievement. So this has been the biggest setback lockdown में, because physically हम जाके लोगों से मिल नहीं सकते. To be able to reach out to anyone through any medium is huge right now. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much. And with this, we conclude the program today. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.